What's up to you all, awesome matriculants? My name is Abram and we're going to have a great show. It is mathematics and we're doing it with Lunga today. Lunga, how are you?
I'm very well, AB. How are you?
Fantastic, man. What are we doing?
We're continuing from last week. We're doing some more trigonometry, 2D and 3D.
All right, nice one. I can't wait for this one. And I know that you guys can't wait too. So to get the conversation going, where you can ask your questions and send your comments, go through our Facebook page. It is facebook.com/LearnExtra, or simply follow us on Twitter @LearnExtra. I'll read some of your tweets and see what you guys are saying. But remember, the notes that Lunga is going over are from this workbook, of which you can get for only 139 Rand. You can order it by simply sending an email to sales@mindset.co.za. It's a great package with questions and answers. It's a great one. You need it, matriculant, so get it. For more information, ask me on Facebook. I'll tell you more about it. But this show, it's going to be great. I can't wait for it. Remember, it is proudly brought to you by the Department of Basic Education. So, Lunga, let's learn more.
Thanks, AB. Great. Okay, guys, as I've said, we're doing some 2D and 3D trigonometry. And again, bear in mind, if you are given a 3D problem, there is no reason to panic whatsoever. All you need to do is break it up into 2D shapes that you are familiar with and that you can solve. All right, so let's get going. Right, so I will need for you to revise your definitions of the sine rule. So it's going to be the sine rule again, the cosine rule again, and the area rule. Nothing new there. And let's jump to the problems. Right, so let's see what we're given here. It says Thandi is standing at point P on the horizontal ground. So note that this is horizontal, and observes two poles, AC and BD, of different heights. P, C, and D are in the same horizontal plane. So these 3 points here make one horizontal plane. All right? And it says from the angles, from P, the angles of inclination, remember, this is when we are looking up, the angles of inclination to the top of the poles A and B are 23 and 18 degrees respectively. Then it says Thandi is 18 meters from the base of pole AC and the height of pole BD is 7 meters. Right, so now what we're going to do is, or what we've done, is we have built a model of this problem. All right? So let's look at the picture and let's compare it to this little model that we've built. Right. So this is what it looks like. These two marshmallows here form tower AC, right? And these two marshmallows here form tower BD. Okay, and as you can see, this would be point B, this would be point A, B, and this would be point P at the bottom here. So all that this is a triangle, okay? And if we turn this model to the side here, again, this is tower AC, and this is the line CP, all right? And this angle here is my angle 23 degrees. And if I turn it to this side, this would be tower BD. And this here would be the 18 degrees. Again, it's just a normal triangle. So what you've been given here is just a model. And it is made up of a triangle on this side, a triangle on this side again, a triangle in the front there, and a triangle at the bottom, and there's a quadrilateral at the back. All right, so it helps to break it up into 2D shapes that you are familiar with. Cool. Let's see if we can answer the problems there, or the questions. Right, so the first question, calculate to 2 decimal places the distance from Tandi to the top of pole BD. Right, so what are they asking us for? Let's highlight that for you. So it's from Tandi. Tandi is standing here, remember, at point P to the top of pole BD. In other words, they're asking me for that distance there. Right, so let's answer that question then. If you look at this, it is just a normal triangle, again, as I've said, and it happens to be a right-angled triangle, which is a good thing. So if you think back to grade 10, when you started doing trigonometry, you remember that sine is opposite of a hypotenuse, cos is adjacent of a hypotenuse, and tan is opposite of a adjacent. Okay, so that's what we use when we are given right-angled triangles, which is what we have in this case. All right, so they're asking me for BP, which is again the hypotenuse. What are we given? We are given the opposite side, and they're asking me for that. So I know I need to use which ratio? Sine. So let's work that out. So I know that sine of the angle, which is 18 degrees, sine 18 degrees is equal to BD, which is 7, over the hypotenuse, which we said is BP. 2 easy marks. All right, so solving for BP, we can say BP is equal to 7 divided by sine 18 degrees. All right, let's bring up our calculator. So we need a fraction there. It's going to be 7 over sine of 18 degrees. Let's close that. And our answer is 22.65 meters. 22.65 meters. It's as easy as that. Right. Let's look at the next question. It's a continuation, 1.2. Now it says calculate, correct to 2 decimal places again, the distance from Tandi to the top of pole AC this time. All right? So if I bring up my model again, what are they asking me for now? Okay, this is pole AC, remember, and Tandi is standing here. All right, so they're asking me if I turn my model to the left slightly, all right, they're asking me for the hypotenuse of this right-angled triangle. As you can see, we are given this distance here, CP, so they're asking me to work out AP. Right, so let's highlight it again, just so you know that this is nothing difficult, nothing complicated, it's just a 2D shape. Okay, from Tandi to the top of AC, so they're asking me for the opposite there. We have the adjacent, which is 18 meters, so which ratio has opposite and adjacent? 10. So this means that tan 23 degrees is equal to the opposite, which is what we're looking for, and over 18. Okay, let me just check that. Are we working out the right stuff then? No. working out the distance from Tandi to the top of pole AC. All right, so they're actually asking me for AP. I do beg your pardon. They're asking me for AP. So they're asking me for the hypotenuse, not the opposite. All right, so we will use cos. We will use cos this time, right? So that means cos 23 is adjacent, which is 18, over the hypotenuse, which we're going to call, or which is called AP. Right, so solving for AP, we say AP is equal to 18 over cos 23 degrees. Let's bring up our calculator. So it's 18 divided by cos 23 degrees. And our answer is 19.55. So that is 19.55 meters. Right, so that means that this distance here is 19.55, right? And if we go back to the previous question, they asked us for the distance from Tandi to BD, so that was BP. So let's go back and fill it in. It always helps to put the stuff you've worked out on the picture, and we worked it out to be 22.65. So let's go and fill it in the picture. So this was 22.65 meters. All right, so let's see what they require of us next. Based on the same model. Now it says, calculate correct to 2 decimal places the distance between the tops of the poles. That is the length of AB. If APB is 42 degrees, let's bring our model again so we can see what they're asking us for. So if this is our model, all right, the distance between the 2 poles, remember this is the one pole and this is the other pole, the distance between the tops of the poles, so it's that distance there. What is it called in the picture? AB. All right, so remember we've worked out that hypotenuse and we've worked out that distance there. Now they're asking us to work out that. Okay, so I would like you guys to think back to last week's lesson, okay, and think which of the 3 rules do we use or can we use to work out this distance here. And they tell us that this angle here is the 42 degrees. All right, so after the break, we will continue with that then.
Thank you so much, Lunga. Well, my sisters, please send through your questions if you're struggling, and don't ask for our marshmallows. They are mine. I won't give them to you. Otherwise, guys, we've got this exciting competition for you guys. If you think you are a future star, well, enter for the Future Stars Awards. More information is on our Facebook page. Dream it, believe it, and do it right now. Inspire others with your story, and who knows, you could be the winner. See you after this break. Welcome back, Awesome Matrix. Now, you're probably thinking that next year you need to go to varsity. Maybe you have applied and maybe you haven't applied. It's never too late. Apply right now. But have you thought about accommodation? If you have or haven't, it's easy, guys. You could get yourself free 1 year's accommodation at any South Point accommodation. All you need to do is to fill in the entry form on our Facebook, on our website. The link is on our Facebook page. So enter right now, and you could be that winner of free accommodation. I'd love to get that free accommodation, but it's for you as a matriculant. Enter right now. Lunga, back to you.
Thanks, AB. Okay, guys, I hope you tried this in that little break. Okay? And I hope you use the right rule. Remember, we cannot use the simple ratio rules here. So we can't use sine is opposite of a hypotenuse, or cos is adjacent of a hypotenuse, or tan is opposite of adjacent. Why? Because this here is not a right-angled triangle. All right? So we're looking at triangle ABP. Okay, so it's this triangle here. Okay, let's get a better line there. So that's the triangle we're looking at, and we're told that this angle here, note, it is included. Right, so this should remind you to use the cosine rule. It is between sides AP and BP. Okay, so you know to use the cosine rule here. Remember, this is 22,65 meters. And they're asking us to work out AB, this line here. Right, so now let's write that in terms of the cosine rule. We know that AB squared is equal to, okay, what are the two sides? AP squared and BP squared. AP squared plus BP squared, right, minus 2 times the product of those two sides. If you can't remember this, you'll probably be given a formula sheet, so don't panic. Multiplied by cos of the angle in between those two sides, which happens to be 42 degrees. Right. Okay, so now let's substitute. We worked out our AP, 19,55. So that's going to be 19,55 squared. And we said this was 22,65. 22,65 squared minus 2 multiplied by 19,55 multiplied by 22,65. Okay, allow me to continue this at the bottom below it. And this is all multiplied by cos 42 degrees. Right? And remember, this is AB squared. Do not make that mistake, which is not what they're asking us for. They're asking us for AB. So which means we need to find the square root of all of that. So let's bring up our calculators. Okay, so it's the square root of 19.55 squared plus 22,65 squared minus 2 multiplied by 19,55, and that is multiplied by 22,65, and that is all multiplied by cos 42 degrees. And that is our answer. 15,39. If you round it off to 2 decimal places, 15,40. So it means that AB now is equal to 15,40 meters. I hope most of you are getting this right. As I said, it's just a continuation from last week's lesson. All right. Is there anything else from that question? Let's take a look. No, that was it. Okay, so very easy. Again, just break it up into 2D shapes that you can easily solve for. Okay, so question 2. It says a rectangular block of wood has a breadth of 6 meters. Okay. So the breadth of 6 meters, where is it? Let's look at it. Let's find it. So there it is. It says it's got a height of 8 meters. A height of 8 meters. There's our height of 8 meters. And what else do they say? And a length of 15 meters. The length of 15 meters. It's a rectangular prism. Length of 15 meters. Right. So what? A plane cut is made through the block as shown in the diagram, revealing the triangular plane that has been formed. They say calculate the size of EBG, which happens to be this angle here, EBG, this angle here. Okay, so again, let's build a model. Okay, AB, I'm going to need you to help me with this.
Okay.
I'm going to build a 3D model of this. All right, so here is the rectangular block already. All right, okay, just give me the short stick there, the shortest one. There we are. Okay, let's construct this triangle. Just hold it like that. So this line here is EB that I'm building now. Okay, so that's that line, EB. And let's make EG. So let's take that one. It goes from E all the way to G. So it goes from there to that marshmallow there. So this is EG. And BG goes from the bottom here all the way up to the top there. So this is BG. So as you can see, the triangle they're asking us to work out is, thanks AB, is actually this triangle here. This is EBG. This is the triangle they're asking us that has been shaded. And what angle are they asking us to work out? There it is, EBG. Again, it's just a normal 2D triangle, nothing hectic. All right, so let's see if we can work that out. Great. Okay, so if you look at the triangle that's been given to us, that one there, we have not been given any sides, all right? And we haven't been given any angles, which means that if you want to work out this angle here, we will need to work out, we can work out all the sides, in fact. If we want to use the cosine rule, we can work out the 3 sides of the triangle. Remember, if you're given the 3 sides of a triangle, we can then work out any of the angles in the triangle. All right? Okay, so let's try that. Let's see if we can work out EB. Okay? And you could have perhaps tried to use the sine rule. Okay? And if it doesn't work, no stress. Okay? Then you know that you need to try maybe the cosine rule. All right? So let's see if we can work out EB first. We know that this here is a right-angled triangle. So if you look at triangle ABE, how would we work out the hypotenuse there, which is EB? Very easy, grade 8 or 9 work. We would use Pythagoras. So EB is equal to square root of 8 squared plus 6 squared, which is equal to, so that's going to be 64 plus 36, which is 100. So that's going to be 10 centimeters. Okay, let's fill it in. So I know that EB is 10 centimeters. All right. And how would we work out BG? Let's use that nice blue color to work out BG. Again, if you look at this triangle here, since it's a rectangular block, we know that this is 90 degrees. And since it's a rectangle, we know that CG must be equal to EA. So this must be 8 centimeters. So how would we work out BG? Very easy, using Pythagoras again. Allow me to write it here. So BG is equal to the square root of 15 squared plus 8 squared. Right? Okay, so let's bring up our calculators. So it's the square root of 15 squared plus 8 squared, and we get 17 centimeters. So that is 17 centimeters. So we know that BG is 17 centimeters. Okay, and they're asking us for the included angles. So you should be thinking the cosine rule, but we don't have enough information yet. We need the third side. All right, the corresponding side, which is EG. Let's get rid of that and use different color there. Let's use purple for that. EG, which forms part of another right-angled triangle. There is the 90 degrees, right? How long is HG? 6 centimeters. And how long is EH? 15 centimeters. So again, we can use Pythagoras to work out EG. Yes, EG. Right, so EG is the square root of 15 squared, and the other one is 6 plus 6 squared. Okay? So it's square root of 15 squared plus 6 squared. Okay. 16,155, or let's just write that as 3 times the square root of 29. So we know that this is 3 times the square root of 29. Avoid the hassle of writing all those numbers, and let's fill it in. So this is 3 times the square root of 29. Super, we're almost there. Okay, they're asking us to work out this angle. We've got 3 sides, so that means we can use the cosine rule. All right, so how would we express this now in terms of the cosine rule? We know that EG squared is equal to the sum of the squares of the other 2 sides, EB and BG, EB squared plus BG squared, right? Let's check that, EB and BG, yes. Minus 2 multiplied by the product of EB and BG, and that is all multiplied by cosine of the angle which has been given to us. They said it was, oh no, that's the angle we need to work out. Okay, what shall we call it? It's called EBG, cos EBG. Right, let's do the substitution. Right, so instead of EG, I will now write 3 square root of 29, or that horrible long number, squared, is equal to, how long was EB? That was a nicer number, 10. So it's 10 squared plus BG, 17 squared, minus 2 multiplied by 10 multiplied by 17 cos EBG, right? Solving for cos EBG, we can say that 3 square root of 29 squared minus 10 squared minus 17 squared, I'm just taking everything over to the left-hand side there, is equal to negative 2 multiplied by 10. Very importantly, you can't separate this 10 and 17 with that because it is all one term. Not yet anyway. And that is multiplied by cos EBG. Okay? So I now need to divide both sides by that. So it means that cos EBG is equal to all that 3 times the square root of 29 minus 10 squared minus 17 squared divided by negative 2 multiplied by 10 multiplied by 17. Right, and let's enter that on our calculators. So we've got 3 square root of 29 exactly as it is, squared, minus 10 squared, minus 17 squared, and that is all divided by negative 2 multiplied by 10 multiplied by 17. 32 over 85. 32 over 85 is equal to, that's not the size of the angle yet, it's the cosine of the angle, EBG. Right, so how do we work out the angle if we are given the ratio? We're now going to go shift cos. Okay, so let's go shift cos of the answer, which is 32 over 85, and that's what we get, 67,88 degrees. So it means that EBG is equal to 67,88 degrees. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is this angle here. All right. Okay, and that's all they wanted us to work out in this question. So there we are. just work out the three sides, the length of the three sides, and then use the cosine rule to work out the included angle. AB, is it time for a break?
It is. It's time for me to have my mesh. So are the mindsetters. So guys, we'll see you after this break. Welcome back, Mindsetters. I hope you are still tuned in and learning more and learning extra with us. If you just joined us now, you're a bit late, but I'm sure that as long as taking it slowly, you can still catch up, guys. I have some questions for you, Lunga.
Great.
But before I give you that question, I've got exciting news for the Mindsetters.
Okay.
If you think you are a Bright Spark, well, enter the Be a Bright Spark competition where you stand a chance of winning a cool Chevy Spark L. You know, you could be cruising with your friends or tag me along and I'll come right with you. All you need to do is to download the cool Android app, which is available from the Samsung Galaxy App Store or Google Play for only 59 Rand, guys. So you can get it. More details will be on our Facebook page, and the entry form is available on our Facebook page, which is facebook.com/learn extra. Guys, like our page and tell your friends to join us through. Now your question is from Nomatam Sanga, okay, saying, hi Sam, my name is Sia. So it's from Sia. Can you please explain question 1.2? I do not understand. How do you know you should use cos or tan or sine?
All right, Sia, 1.2. Okay, they say work out the distance from Tandi to the top of pole AC. Okay, where's AC? There is AC there. All right, so let me just erase all that and start again. All right, so what they're asking us to work out, remember Tandi is standing here. See, yeah, Tandi is standing at point P. We're working out the distance from Tandi to the top of AC, so they're asking us for the hypotenuse. Okay, so that's the hypotenuse. And what do we have? We have, okay, that's the angle, and we've got the adjacent side. All right, so now, if you think back to grade 10, which ratio do we use if we have adjacent and hypotenuse? It has to be cos, because cos, see ya, of any angle is equal to adjacent over hypotenuse. My adjacent is 18, and my hypotenuse, we worked it out there. All right. There we are. So that's the explanation. Just think back to grade 10. The cos is adjacent over hypotenuse. What are you given, and what are they asking you to work out? Okay, any other questions?
No, for now.
Okay, great. So let's move on to question 3 now. They say, if sine 18 is t, determine the following in terms of t. Cos 18 and sine 78. Right. This, again, what you can do here is you can draw a little sketch. Because you and I know that t is t over 1. So it means that sine 18 is equal to t over 1, all right? Which is related to 1.1, similar to 1.1 and 1.2, where this t is my opposite and this is my hypotenuse. So let's draw our right-angled triangle. Here's my 18 degrees. This is t, which is the opposite, and that is 1, which is the hypotenuse. All right? So, and they say that sine 18 is equal to t. Okay? Now they're asking us for cos 18. And we know that cos of any angle, okay, let's go with the 18 that's been given, must be the adjacent over hypotenuse. Right. We've got the hypotenuse, it is 1 as you can see, but we don't have the adjacent. And if this is a right-angled triangle, we can then use Pythagoras. So let's call that adjacent x. So it means that x squared is equal to 1 minus t squared. So it means that x is equal to the square root of 1 minus t squared. Okay, let's go and fill it in. So this guy here is the square root of 1 minus t squared. We are now in a position to work out cos 18. So this means that cos of 18 degrees is equal to adjacent, which is what we've worked out above, 1 minus t squared, all over the hypotenuse, which we said is 1. Okay? And that can be simplified to simply 1 minus t squared. So there is question 3a worked out. Now they say, how will you work out sine 78 degrees now? Remember, we're not using a calculator for this, okay? So if you're not using a calculator, you should be thinking special angles, all right? Can I use special angles? Can I express 78 using special angles and perhaps the angle that we've been working with, which is 18? Absolutely. We know that 78 is 60 plus 18. So let's go back. So that be, what is it? Sine, right. We know that sine 78 is equal to sine 60 degrees plus 18 degrees. And that is what we call compound angles, right? So that can be expressed as sine 60, which is easy to work out because 60 is a special angle, multiplied by cos 18, which we've worked out in 3a, plus cos of 60 degrees, which is a special angle again, multiplied by sine 18, which was given in the question as t. Right, so let's do the simplification there. So sine 60, if you think of your special angles, is equal to square root 3 over 2, multiplied by cos 18, we've just worked it out, square root of 1 minus t squared, plus cos 60, which is a half, multiplied by sine 18. Don't forget that was given in the question. They tell us that sine 18 is actually equal to t. So it's a half times t, and it's just a matter of simplifying that. So it's square root of 3 multiplied by 1 minus t squared, the square root of, all over 2 plus t over 2. Okay, and we can put that over one denominator, so it is square root of 3 times the square root of 1 minus t squared plus t, and this is all divided by 2. So we've now expressed sine 78 in terms of t, and that is our answer. Right, let's look at question 4. They say a triangle ABC is an isosceles triangle. Okay, those are the important bits there. Those are your keywords. Isosceles triangle. And they tell you which two sides are equal, because as you know, in an isosceles triangle, it means that two of the sides are equal. They tell us that it is this side, AB or BA, which is equal to BC, and they've drawn these lines for us to make it simpler, to make it very clear for us. And they say that AB is C, and AC is B, sorry, AB is C, AC is B, and BC is A. Okay, so what? So we know that those two angles are equal to each other because it's an isosceles triangle. So what is the question? They say prove that cos B is equal to 1 minus B squared over 2AC. So we're proving that that left-hand side is equal to that right-hand side. Okay, of course it's trigonometry. All right, so we need to decide, are you going to use the area rule, the sine rule, or the cosine rule? Okay, if you look at what you're required to prove, there are squares there. There's a b squared and an a squared. And look, there's a cos b, okay? So my guess would be to use the cosine rule, all right? So try it. If it doesn't work, try something else, all right? So let's try the cosine rule then. So how would you express the sides of this triangle then using the cosine rule? Okay, and this is the angle that they're referring to. This is B. Okay, so it means that we would say B squared is equal to the sum of the squares of the other two sides. So it's C squared and A squared is equal to C squared plus A squared minus 2 multiplied by C multiplied by A, and that is all multiplied by cos of the angle between A and C, which happens to be B, which is what is in the question. So it looks like you're on the right track. The only worrying thing here is the C, because if you look at what we've been given, I don't see a C anywhere in there. But there is a way of getting around that. If you go back to the question, they say that C is actually equal to A. So that means that where I see a C, the letter C, I can substitute with an A. And in that way, I'll end up with a B and an A, and which is what I have in the question. I just have B's and A's. All right, so let's do the substitution. So B squared. So instead of C squared, I'll write A squared, because C is actually equal to A. So it's A squared plus A squared minus 2, instead of C, put another A, times A cos of B, right? And now it's just a matter of solving for cos B. So writing that statement now in terms of cos B, make cos B the subject of the formula, which is what has been given in the question. Right, so B squared. A squared and A squared are easy. Those are like terms. So A squared plus A squared is 2A squared minus 2 times A, which is another A squared cos B. We need to isolate this cos B now. We can factorize. So it means that B squared is equal to, I've got two terms here, that term and that term. My highest common factor is 2a squared. Okay, what goes in the bracket? A 1, which is what I saw in the problem, in the question, minus cos b. It's looking good so far. All right. I want to get cos b on its own, so let's divide both sides by 2a squared. This means that b squared over 2a squared is equal to 1 minus cos b. Oops, not cob, cos b, right? And how do I express that now in terms of cos b? Let's take that 1 over to the other side. It means that negative 1 plus b squared over 2a squared is equal to, okay, let's bring that down a bit, is equal to negative cos b, okay? I don't want negative cos b, I want positive cos b, so that means I can divide everything by negative 1, so it means that cos b, if you divide that by negative 1, okay, take that negative 1, divide by negative 1 is a positive 1. And this term here, divide by negative 1 becomes a minus b squared over 2a squared. Okay, let's go back and see if that is not what they asked us to work out. Is cos b not equal to 1 minus b squared over 2a squared? And there we are. We have answered the question, ladies and gentlemen. So that's it. All right. And that brings us to the end of our practice questions, AB.
Okay. Should I give you one more question from the mindsetters?
Yes, please.
Okay, let's take this one. Will we get the angle EBG if we use the sine rule? That's from Mahota
Okay.
Chivula.
Okay, EBG. Okay, let's go back. I think that was the one with the model.
Yes.
EBG, no, it wasn't this one. It was the one with the rectangular block of wood. EBG. Okay, will we get it if we use the sine rule? Is that the question? All right, so let's erase that and try it. Remember, if you're using the sine rule, what you need is an angle. So that's the angle they're asking us for. Okay, so you need the corresponding side, which we don't have. So no, it's as easy as that. We cannot, because we don't have that angle. All right. Oh, but now we do have that side. We've worked it out. All right. So it means that sine EBG over the 3 square root of 29 is equal to, we need another angle, remember? So we need either that angle and that side, so we don't have that angle, so we can't. Do we have that angle there? No, we don't. So I'm afraid we cannot use the sine rule there. That's the answer. It has to be the cosine rule.
Of course. Thank you so much, Mr. For helping us through, and thanks to you guys for watching. Without you, we wouldn't have done this, but a big thank you to the Department of Basic Education for making sure that we have this show. Make sure that you order our workbooks by emailing sales@mindset.co.za. From us and the rest of the team, we just wish you all the best in your studies. Keep on studying, push yourself, and believe in yourself, because we do believe in you. Have a good evening. Peace.